It was recently announced not too long ago that the NWA and our old pal Billy Corgan had secured a television deal with CW for not one, but two shows, one being NWA Power and the other being a reality show, a behind the scenes look. And it's been written that the reality show will be self-funded by Billy Corgan. And there's other rumor and innuendo that perhaps the television deal might wind up becoming a streaming on the CW app deal. Apparently there were some people who had their feelings hurt over at the CW. Again, this is all according to a report from your old pal, Nick Houseman, where
he's not my pal. Don't say that.
Okay. He's my pal. On the pay-per-view, their most recent pay-per-view, which was rumored to have not that many buys, not piling on, just saying there was a lot of negativity surrounding that show. But at some point during the broadcast, they did something I've never seen before. I guess I'm going to describe it as a cocaine spot. They did a cutaway and you saw Jim Mitchell and his band of Merry Misfits snorting a substance on camera. And allegedly folks at the CW did not like that. Now, the rumor and innuendo is that Billy Corgan okayed this and pushed for it to be on the pay-per-view, felt strongly that it should be on the pay-per-view. It was there. And the rumor, according to Nick Houseman, is that perhaps the television opportunity with the CW is at least now in a little bit of jeopardy because some people had some upset feelings. So first of all, let me ask you this. Do you think the differentiation of it's on pay-per-view, it's on TV, does that matter in this instance? And if we all agree that this is fantasy and it's all story, this is an industry where we've had people sacrificed and there have been murders and there have been, miscarriage storylines and abused wife storylines and all these really poor taste ideas. A cocaine spot on a wrestling show? What say you?
It's weird, isn't it? How wrestling has still to this day, despite how mainstream, how large it's become, how powerful it's become, still finds residence in this weird spot in television where certain things are just off limits.
Yes.
If we're going to watch a scripted series, I don't know how many of them I've watched where you see somebody doing cocaine.
So many.
Or shooting heroin or doing whatever within the context of a scripted presentation. But yet when wrestling steps outside of the bounds, and I don't even know where the boundaries are. I don't think anybody else does either. There's no definitive right or wrong. It's a matter of taste and judgment at a particular point in time. But in this particular case, you've got people doing cocaine on camera. What's probably not real cocaine. We all know that. But if you're using cocaine to advance a character or storyline, you got people throwing flags. I think a lot of that has to do with the reason why beer companies still are hesitant to this day are hesitant to advertise in wrestling because there's still either a real or perceived component of the audience, too large of a component of the audience that are children, right? And that's where I think the gray area is. Some television executives recognize it for what it is. Some of them are still like, oh no, we don't want to be associated with that. They're fearful of it. But I think, TV versus pay-per-view, it doesn't fucking matter. It's still the NWA. It's still your brand. It's still your characters that we see on TV. And yes, pay-per-views are seen on television. So I think to find any kind of comfort where you're able to get away with things, big things, controversial things like a cocaine spot, but you're going to be allowed to get away with it because it's on pay-per-view and not on television is naive as hell. That's just inexperience, not having dealt with television networks, not ever having been in a position where you've got a television partner that actually cares about what you do. It's just a reflection of, it's just naivete. It's all it is. And a fair amount of stupidity. because you know you're bringing that attention to yourself in a way that's, you got people dropping dead in the streets from snorting blow, from fentanyl. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know Billy Corrigan. I've had lunch with him and spent a little bit of time with him, but that was just flat out freaking stupid. Especially you're trying to emerge. You're trying to break out of YouTube and actually get a television deal. And you feel strongly about a cocaine spot, which, by the way, didn't get anybody over anyway. What was the purpose of it? You're going to get Jim Mitchell over? Are you kidding me? You guys never been over in the 20 years he's been in business. How is this going to make a difference? The more I think about it, the more pissed off I get, because it's the kind of thing that really damages the wrestling genre for television. It's just like people are inventing ways to screw stuff up. I don't know. Let's change the subject.
You got half hot there.
I am hot. I hate when people blow opportunities. Mm-hmm. They're hard to come by, folks. They're really freaking hard to come by. Why would you do something that you know is going to blow up in your face? And if you don't know what's going to blow up in your face, get out of the business. You shouldn't be in it. My God.
Oh, God.
No, really. Come on.
My phone's going to blow up.
You asked a question. I'm sorry. Let's move on. I didn't want to get this hot.